Rhett Lashlee joins the show in just a second. SMU making its appearance again in our top 25, voted on by you, our viewers and listeners, in the longest-running fan poll in college football. We're 74 days away from week 0 of the college football season.
And the coach is with us now. Our first time to chat with him since an excellent year they had last year, ending up in the college football playoff. Welcome in, Coach. How you doing today?
Doing well, guys. How are you doing?
Doing awesome. Thanks a lot. I know you coaches, you very rarely stop to look back and find satisfaction in what has been accomplished because it's always on to the next thing. But were you able in the offseason to step back and say, hey, that was a heck of a year at SMU, first year in the ACC to go to the college football playoff?
Yeah, we rarely get to stop and maybe enjoy a good season because of the nature of our game right now. It just is pretty constant, right? Trying to keep your team together and go create another one. And also nobody really cares now it's in the past. It's can you do it again or do it better? But we haven't had a lot of time to stop. But, you know, we had a little bit of time in February to, I think, try to do our best to appreciate what our team and our staff was able to accomplish last year, but then also quickly get motivated to try to get back and do it better.
Can you go back? I think it was December 15th, 2024, the selection show, where everybody was talking about SMU coming off a loss to Clemson. Are they going to be the last team in, or is it going to be Alabama? Emotionally, what were you going through? How good did you feel that you guys were going to be in?
Well, I felt like we definitely deserved to be in, but after we came up just short about 12 hours earlier in that ACC championship game with Clemson, I cannot say I felt great. You know, when the way it looked like it was shaping up to be either us or Alabama, which I'm not sure that's the way it should have shaped up. I think maybe we both should have been in. But obviously that morning when we got the news, it was really special and pretty cool for my family, our staff, our team. And then, you know, I kind of figured out after that shortly, I'm not sure if I was a more disliked person in the state of Alabama then or after the kick six. But, either way, we were in, and I was good with
it. Much like the kick six, right? You're okay with that one, too.
Speaking of which, when's the last time you've been on Lake Martin? Does White Rock or Lake Grapevine or Cedar Creek compare to Lake Martin?
Well, I'll say Lake Martin is special. We got a lot of good memories there. I haven't been there in a while. Actually going to be back in a few weeks to play in some member guest tournament down there at that new club. Sounds like Wicker Point's what it's called.
Wicker Point, yeah. It's supposed to be fantastic.
And that'll probably be the first time I've been back on the lake in, I don't know, 2 or 3 years at least, maybe more. You named some really good lakes here in Dallas. We actually go out to Possum Kingdom a decent amount. And Cedar Creek's great as well. So I know one thing, in Alabama and Texas, the lakes are really good.
Yeah, Possum Kingdom sounds absolutely like an Alabama lake.
Yeah.
The stunning part's that one's in Texas, yeah.
I'd like to see what rock you jump off of at Possum Creek or whatever it's called. That'd be good.
It's Hell's Gates, what it's called. That tells you anything.
SMU coach Rhett Lashlee with us on the Alexander Sonora Trial Attorneys Hotline. As you look ahead to this year, and we were previewing your team today, it is a challenging schedule, which is a testament to the league you are in. Miami is improving. Clemson is going to be really, really good. You did not shy away out of conference, playing 2 in-state schools in TCU and Baylor. It is a challenging schedule for your team.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. I mean, our schedule was challenging last year for us just because we never played, 10 straight Power 4 games in probably 30 years, and we ended up playing 12 straight when you count Clemson and Penn State. But this year's, on paper, at least going into the season, more challenging. I mean, you got Baylor, 9 wins last year and was playing great down the stretch. You got TCU was still a 9-win team last year, both in the non-conference. And then Syracuse was a 10-win team. Louisville is a top 25 team every year. You mentioned Miami. They may be more talented this year than last year. And then I think Clemson's national championship good this year. I mean, they'll be preseason top 3 or 4. They got everybody back. And, so we got our work cut out for us, but that's what we asked for. It's what's exciting for our program to be, in a league where we're playing in those type of games, pretty much week in, week out. And so I think just like last year, we got a team that can compete.
As an offensive coach, how do you explain leading the ACC in turnovers and having 8 penalties per game, but still going 8-0 in conference and winning the regular season?
Well, I appreciate you reminding me. I actually didn't know we led the league in turnovers, but that's great to know. And what's funny is I think all of our turnovers came in like 3 games. So, it was unique. I think we did have more penalties last year than we ever have, at least in my history as a coach or even a head coach. But what's funny is I think over the last 5 or 10 years, you study the least penalties. I mean, look, penalties get you beat, especially the undisciplined ones. But being the least penalized doesn't transition or translate to wins always. I mean, a few years ago, Cincinnati made it to the Final Four college football playoff, and they were one of the top 2 or 3 most penalized teams in the country. Georgia's done that. So there's a fine line. You got to have an aggressive team. You got to have a team that'll bite, and then sometimes maybe you just don't get very good calls. You know what I mean? But I do think the reason that we were able to overcome some of that, aside from being good on offense and explosive, is we had a real defense. I mean, our defense was top 5 in the country against the run. They were number 1 in the country in QB pressures, top 5 or 6 in sacks. And when you can play defense like that, then you can stay in any game.
You know how we do this. There's always big jobs out there that may come open someday, and we always bring up your name, and then we debate, but why would he leave SMU? Because you have such a great area there, and then I'd love for you to tell us about the support you get, NIL-wise, boosters, and all that, because it'll help us in our debate in the future when we keep throwing your name out there for huge programs in the SEC.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously being in Texas, I don't get to listen to y'all regularly, so I didn't know you did that. The good thing is I have a big job right now, and to your point, there's never been a better time to be at SMU. It's just unique. I'm fortunate to be here at the right time when we're in the ACC. I think we go to the playoff and prove we can compete not just in the ACC but on the national level. We got a brand new facility that is as good as any in the country that we moved into last year for football. We're selling out our games. We do have great support. Our alignment is key at any university. It's huge here at this time when we are winning, we're breaking through, and now to sustain it. We just welcomed it on June 1st, our new president, Jay Hartzell. He was the president at the University of Texas. He chose to leave there to come to SMU. I think that says a lot about the moment in time here at SMU and in Dallas. And then we got Damon Evans, our athletic director, came over from Maryland. So there's a lot of alignment administratively, and then our donors, our alumni, they're incredibly generous. They're super successful. That's why coming to SMU has a lot of benefits to people, but they're even more generous after they're successful. And we just have a commitment to wanting to compete at the highest level, wanting to have high expectations, and we want to win a national championship. And so you got big goals if you get here. And I'm fortunate to be here at a time where we can do those things. And then we're in the city of Dallas, arguably not a better recruiting base anywhere in the country, and we're the only Division I school within 30 miles of Dallas.
Do you know, and this is way down the road, but I'm just curious, is like your vision of the program. You announced a home and home with LSU. Will that be the on-campus stadium when you play your part? Do you guys ever think like Jerry World is massive, you could go fill that up? Or are you like, no, we are playing in our campus stadium. This is our home stadium.
Yes. The answer is yes to either. You know what I mean?
Good. Yeah.
I think we're in a position, last year was year 1, this year's year 2. Really, honestly, 27 is the first season that myself and even our incoming AD will really get to affect the scheduling, because, when you get hired at a job, scheduling's been done 4 or 5 years in advance usually, and then we change leagues, so there's a lot of times limitations on your options there. Look, next year, we're going to go to Notre Dame in the non-conference, which will be a big deal. We obviously have the ACC slate, but you start looking at 2027, Clemson's going to finally have to come to Dallas. That'll be great. But we have Oklahoma in the non-conference, and they're slated to come to Ford Stadium in Dallas. But do we play that there? Do we play that at AT&T, to your point? Either one's a great thing for us. And then you look at home and home in 28, 29, when you get to 2029 as well. Like, what do we do there? So I think we have options. I think the biggest thing is, we want to play on the biggest stage against big-time opponents like that, because that's the stage and the level we want to get our program to. And in order to do that, we got to play in those moments, and we got to have success in those moments. So I think everything's on the table. We want to play on the biggest scene and the biggest stage we can.
Hey, we're going to let you run. Two-part question, though. You mentioned scheduling. How did you guys end up playing at Missouri State in Springfield this year, week 3? And second part, you've been doing this for 20 years now, the coaching gig. What is the most important thing you have learned over your 20 years of coaching?
Wow, great questions. The first one, it'll never happen again, I can assure you. We had to play at Nevada last year. We're playing at Missouri State this year. We got great respect for them, but that's not our scheduling philosophy and our how we want to do things moving forward. When you change conferences, usually think Texas and OU when they went to the SEC, they had 2-3 years of runway to figure that out. We found out on September 1st, before the 23 season, that we were joining the league in July, 10 months later. So when you start changing schedules, you don't have a lot of flexibility, and sometimes certain schools can get you in a pinch. If you want to play the game, you don't have as much say in it. This will be the last time we play on the road in one of those group of 5 games, as long as I'm the head coach. So just because it doesn't make sense for us, and that's no disrespect to the opportunity we're going to have to go up there and win. But it's just kind of the way it works when you change leagues. To your second question, it's a great question. I don't have a lot of time to think about it. There's so many good answers. I think the biggest thing I've learned is you just got to stay humble and grateful for what you had, because I've noticed we've been successful. We won 11 games each of the last 2 years for the first time in school history. We'll probably be ranked preseason this year. It sounds like we're in your ranking. I don't know what number yet. I don't know if I want to know, but I think as soon as you start to think that you've done something, or that you've got it all figured out, or the guru bird gets on your shoulder, you've seen time and time again, coaches, organizations, players stumble and fall. And so we respect how hard it is to win a game, much less 11, or to get to a conference championship or the playoffs. And so I think as long as we remember how hard that is to do, and we appreciate how hard winning and success is, then we can stay hungry and not get comfortable. Because when you get comfortable, you get complacent. So that's probably the quickest answer I can give you. But and I'm curious, where are we ranked, and where were we ranked last year?
We got it. We know.
One person had you ranked as high as number 9. We have you slotted at 21 this year.
Okay.
Last
Where
year,
were we last year?
Last year we had you outside of our top 25.
it was 29.
28.
Yeah,
28 or 29, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so 8 spots up. So
That's right.
that gives us a chance to finish in the top 3 this year.
That's right. I mean, I would say national championship or bust for SMU.
Hey,
that's the way I read
record,
that.
Coach, and we just watched the interview
Easy.
again.
Easy. I know.
We had you going 11-1 last year
That's
in
right.
the regular season.
You told us to tamp down expectations. We were like, no, 11-1, and look at us. We were right.
What are we 8-4 this year? What are we?
Yeah, I got
7-5?
you 8-4.
No.
Yeah.
No,
I've
okay.
got you 8-4 as well. But if you're ever, when you're at Lake Martin, if Rosie Langello of WSFA Montgomery does an interview with you, she has you at number 9. She's the highest voter in our poll with you at 9. So if you bump into Rosie, then you give her a hard time. Or pat her on the back.
Well,
either way.
I don't know whether to be happy with Rosie or upset with her. Yeah.
Coach, thank you very much for the time. Enjoy the summer as much as you can, and we always appreciate you coming on with us.
Always appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
All right, take care. That is Coach Rhett Lashlee, SMU head football coach,
Such a good
on the
dude.
Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline.